Our News is brought to you by Alive.
Tonight on Our News, Gardiner and Miller-Uibo's golden 400-meter performance. Carnival returns after 16 months, and a visitor is the country's latest traffic fatality victim. Welcome to Our News, and thanks for joining us. I'm Christina Dragovich. Topping news tonight, it was Bahamian night in Tokyo as Team Bahamas struck for its second gold medal. Marcellus Hall was there for all the action in Tokyo.
Welcome to Our Sports, everybody. I'm Marcellus Hall. Tell you what, sports brought to you here in Tokyo, Japan, courtesy of our friends over at J.S. Johnson. Leave it to Bahamians to make Thank God It's Friday a whole new level, because today is Friday here in Tokyo. It's Friday back in the Bahamas, and in typical Bahamian fashion, leaving things to the last minute. That's exactly what our Bahamian athletes did on the last day of competition for our Bahamas team. We struck gold yet again. Friday turning out to be Bahamas Day at the Olympic Games here in Tokyo, Japan. First up would be the medal presentation for 400-meter champion Stephen Gardiner, as he stood tall on the podium to receive his gold medal. An added bonus was having the presentation of the flowers done by NACAC President Bahamian Mike Sands. A proud Gardiner, as the national anthem of the Bahamas played loud and clear in the Olympic Stadium. Things just getting started, as the very next event on the agenda was the finale of the women's 400 meters, featuring defending Olympic champion Gardiner and Miller-Uibo. Gardiner setting up in lane 7 as Bahamians waited with bated breath to see if the sore hamstring would hold up and allow her to win the coveted gold medal. The answer would come quickly as Miller-Uibo, running strongly down the back straight, she quickly makes up the stagger around the curb and into the straightaway. It's Gardiner taking full control of the field.
It will be Gardiner Miller-Uibo with the gold medal,
as she charges her way across the finish line in a new national and area record time of 48.36 seconds. Marielle Paulino was second in 49.20 for the silver, with Allison Felix of the United States taking the bronze in 49.46 seconds. An excited teammate Stephen Gardiner sticking around to watch his good friend get the win, as the two close friends sharing a moment of celebration. Then it was time for the medal presentation once again, as Gardiner now gets to hear the national anthem played loud and clear in Olympic Stadium. After the race, Gardiner talked about just being happy to get the job done.
I've been going through so much these past few days, but my coach, he told me just to suck it up tonight and go in with the right mindset and go in confident, and we were able to pull it off, and I'm just so thankful.
Two-time Olympic champion.
Yes.
I mean, talk about that.
Can't complain. This time I finished standing up, so I will take it. But I'm very happy with it. Came up with a new national record.
New area record as well, yeah?
Yeah, so I'm very grateful. Couldn't be more happy right now.
She talked about the moment she realized that she had the race won.
I didn't exactly know where anyone was at the time, and I think like around 50 meters to go, I took like a little small look up at the screen, and I saw where I cleared the field, and from there I just knew that I had it under wraps.
She added that being able to share the moment with family via internet after the race even more special.
It was such a blessing. They've been praying so hard for me, and they're so proud of me, and just to be able to come out here and represent the family well as well, it's a great feeling.
And now becomes just the second woman to win gold medals in consecutive Olympics sends Francis Marie Jose Perec.
What a run from Shawnee Miller-Uibo, who at first we didn't think was going to be in the 400. She is not only in the 400, she is now the two-time Olympic champion at the distance, and she was, without a doubt, a class of the field, 48.36, a phenomenal run for her.
So while the Olympic Games have not officially come to a close, they have come to an end for Team Bahamas, and what a way to get it done. 2 gold medals on consecutive days. That's a first for any nation getting it done here, at least for the Bahamas anyway, historically getting it done on consecutive days, both male and females winning the 400 meters and getting it done in grand fashion. Reporting from Tokyo, with your J.S. Johnson Sports Moment, I'm Marcellus Hall. See you next time.
Well, Bahamians rejoiced this morning as Olympic gold medalist Shawnee Miller-Uibo raced to another triumphant win in the women's 400-meter final. It was the icing on the cake for proud Bahamians who were already celebrating Stephen Gardiner's historic win. Bethany McDermott has reactions here at home.
Bahamians across the globe are in celebration mode tonight after superstars Stephen Gardiner and Shawnee Miller-Uibo both secured gold medals in the 400-meter finals at the Tokyo Olympics. Olympic gold medalist Tonique Williams-Darling said the accomplishments of these athletes are different, as they had to overcome circumstances no other athlete encountered.
They've been training and then not training and then lockdowns and trying to figure out if they're going to have a competition. I saw that Shawnee run in meets where she was running against the clock and somebody else in another country. And so, you know, they've really done a little bit more than most of us would have done, you know, in our careers in terms of trying to really, you know, work through the challenges.
Now, while Bahamians didn't get the opportunity to sit in the bleachers and watch those races firsthand, they all described what it was like watching it on TV with their families.
When I was watching it on my phone, I was jumping for joy actually, because that's the first goal we won for a while.
The whole family was up. We was up early. We was excited. We was cheering them on, and it really did us good to see the Bahamas making a mark on the world for such a small nation.
And while Bahamians were at home jumping for joy, some businesses were busy cooking up specials to show their gratitude and Bahamian pride, like Bamboo Shack and the Bush Cook. Gardiner, who now holds legendary status in athletics, finished the men's 400 meters in 43.85 seconds, making it the world's leading time and securing his first Olympic medal, while Miller-Uibo won the women's 400 meters with a new personal best, 48.37 seconds. Their track triumphs lifted the spirits of the nation, according to Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture Iram Lewis, who has competed in 2 Olympic events.
We have the king and the queen of the 400 meters, and as a nation, we need something to celebrate, and they certainly have lifted a nation between yesterday and today, and we are all just celebrating, being extremely proud of them. To Shawnee and to Stevie, as you can see the humility in their faces, I want to encourage them to remain humble, to remain focused, to remain grounded, never to forget home, and by all indications, they are going to continue to inspire a nation.
Residents say their victories couldn't come at a better time.
Yes, because, you know, we're small and then everyone was getting medals, and then here we come up a small little island with 2 golds, so something to be proud of.
Lewis said his ministry is already planning a grand celebration upon the Olympic champions' return. Reporting for Our News, I'm Bethany McDermott.
In other news, the Ministry of Health reporting a staggering 228 new COVID-19 cases. Officials called it historic, as this is the largest number of cases reported in one day. Meanwhile, hospitalizations soared to 122. The ministry said in a statement, the numbers seen today demonstrate that the virus that causes COVID-19 is ever present and continues to be transmitted in the country. It should be noted that a total of 499 cases were reported between the 1st and 5th of August 2021. Between the 25th and 29th of July, 558 confirmed cases were also reported. On August 2nd, the Bahamas celebrated Emancipation Day. Health officials say when we experience a holiday, members of the public may delay getting tested for COVID-19. Most laboratory facilities would be closed. The ministry has observed that this often results in an uptick in the number of confirmed cases reported days following a holiday. Well, Carnival Cruise Line has returned to the Bahamas for the first time in 16 months. As the cruise line's newest liquefied natural gas-powered ship docks in Nassau, CEO Christine Duffy says there will be many more voyages to come. Jasmine Brown reports.
It's the first time that the new generation ship has docked here in New Providence, and Carnival officials say they're glad to be back in the Bahamas. Carnival Mardi Gras, which officials say brought thousands of passengers, is one of the newest ships in Carnival's fleet. Carnival Cruise Line President Christine Duffy says the inaugural voyage is the first of many.
Today we have over 4,100 guests that are on board with us, and this ship is only sailing with about 70% of its full capacity. So in the future, as things evolve with the restart, we'll have close to 6,000 guests that will be coming. This ship will sail here as part of our Eastern Caribbean itinerary every other week.
The liquefied natural gas-powered vessel is the first of its kind at Nassau's cruise port. Nassau was the ship's third port of call since leaving its home port at Port Canaveral, Florida on July 31st. Duffy said by the end of October, Carnival will have 15 ships in operation, several of which will stop in the Bahamas.
We call on 5 different places here in the Bahamas, and its proximity to our U.S. home ports where we bring our ships from is obviously a real advantage, but also the experience, the warmth, the different things and different destinations that our guests enjoy when we come to the Bahamas on our Eastern Caribbean itineraries. So we're very, very excited to be back after such a long pause.
Carnival has had a long history with the Bahamas that dates back to the 1970s. However, the COVID-19 pandemic forced the global cruise industry to come to a standstill for more than a year. Duffy says the return of Carnival will no doubt mean an economic boost for the Bahamas. Mardi Gras pulled into port flying the Bahamian flag after Carnival decided to have the Mardi Gras placed on the Bahamas vessel registry.
It was important that we put the Bahamian flag on this ship. The Bahamas is such an important destination for Carnival Cruise Line as the really largest cruise line that's bringing calls and people to the Bahamas.
Reporting for our News, I'm Jasmine Brown.
Well, the Bahamas is in deep trouble, according to former Minister of Health, Dr. Dwayne Sands, who says the hospital is about to collapse. Sands delivering the frank assessment during a vaccine seminar for Atlantis workers. Jared Higgs has more.
Speaking to those Atlantis workers, Sands was frank about the reality of the situation in the country.
We are in deep trouble in the Bahamas, okay? Let's don't pretty this up. Right now, our hospital's about to collapse, okay? If your mommy has a stroke today, there ain't no place to put her. I need you to understand that, okay? We can put her on the porch. She can sit out there until we get her COVID test back. And then, even if she's COVID negative, we may not have a place to put her, but put her in the hallway.
Sands' talk was titled Conspiracy and Politics Over Science. Who/what to believe? Should I get vaccinated against COVID-19? His message to the Atlantis employees gathered was clear.
I don't think we can abandon mask wearing, hand sanitization, social distancing. But vaccination is probably the biggest part of the key to normalcy. And as many of us to get to that threshold of 70, 80% of adults being vaccinated will allow us to function in a quasi-normal reality.
Sands also addressed some conspiracies going around, such as women who take the vaccine will have issues conceiving children. As a matter of fact, Sands says the big risk is having COVID while pregnant.
We have had a significant number of Bahamian women delivering while they're COVID positive. And the risk of adverse outcomes for mother and baby has been markedly increased.
Sands says he doesn't support vaccinating children under the age of 12, but he believes it'll be safe for teenagers. As for hotel workers, he says all should get the protection vaccines offer.
I think that as many people in the hospitality industry, if not all, should be vaccinated.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Jared Higgs.
Well, a man who police believe was a visitor to the country was struck and killed by a taxi last night. The incident took place on West Bay Street near the Nassau Street intersection. Officer in charge of the Northwestern Division, Superintendent Janet McKenzie, gave these details on the scene.
At about 9:15 p.m., the police was alerted to a traffic accident that occurred on West Bay Street, just west of Fort Charlie Police Station. Information received that a white van was traveling west on West Bay Street and collided with a pedestrian who was traveling south to north on West Bay Street.
Police say the driver stayed on scene and assisted officers with the investigation. Our News also understands the man was staying at a hotel just feet away from where he died. Police also found a wallet with identification in the man's possession. McKenzie confirmed that he is Caucasian.
EMS was summoned. They announced the body lifeless. Investigations are continuing.
In other news, another gold medal winning day for the Bahamas. We also had some breezy conditions. Greg Thompson has the current conditions in the Weather Center.
Thanks, Christina. Welcome everybody for your Friday's first look at weather. Very warm conditions, summer-like around the islands today. Once again, temperatures in the 90s, triple-digit indices. We are in the mid-80s right now. We'll call it warm with a few clouds. Southeast winds at 8 knots and your feels-like temperature still in the mid to upper 80s. Satellite view around the region. Very quiet across the islands at high-pressure ridges building in. We have a couple of spotty showers around the islands, but those showers will be dying off as the evening sets in. That's your first look at weather. Your extended forecast is still to come.
Still to come on our news, why a former politician thinks an early election would be a bad idea, and inside Carnival's first LNG cruise ship. The details when our news returns.
The Great True True Bahamian Treasure Hunt is here, where you can win great vacation prize packages to hotels throughout the Bahamas. Watch Our TV on weeknights between 6 and 11 p.m. for your 10 True True Bahamian clues. Take note of your answers and clues. You never know, you might see the same clue twice. Follow Our TV Originals on Facebook to submit your correct answers before 11 a.m. every Saturday. Watch Our News Saturdays at 7:30 p.m. to see if you are the weekly winner. If you didn't win, watch for clues next week because the contest runs all summer long. Go to Our TV Originals Facebook page for more information and contest details.
The future of cruising is here. The media getting a first-hand look at one of the most advanced ships in Carnival Cruise Line's fleet. Vice President for Environmental Operations Richard Pruitt said the Mardi Gras is the first of its kind in the Americas with the marine industry's most advanced fuel technology.
Why LNG? Because it reduces the what we're going to call the pollutants of concern.
The Mardi Gras is also the first ship with a roller coaster and side-facing atrium that overlooks the ocean and converts into a theater at night. A host of entertainment experiences are featured throughout its 19 decks and 6 distinct themed zones, including the first shipboard version of Family Feud and more than 24 restaurants. Mardi Gras sails year-round from Port Canaveral in Florida. Well, a former cabinet minister is dismissing predictions of an early election, suggesting it would be foolish to call an election soon. Bethany McDermott reports.
Amid widespread speculation that Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis may call an early election, former Cabinet Minister George Smith is insisting that would be a foolish idea.
No, I always thought it would have been foolish for a government that's on the way out to call an early election and hasten their departure. So I couldn't see the very astute advices that the Prime Minister may still have, advising him to have an early election when all the signs pointed he would lose.
Last month, Progressive Liberal Party leader Philip Davis and House Speaker Halston Moultrie had predicted the Prime Minister would dissolve Parliament in July and announce an early election. When pressed on the matter, Minnis has remained tight-lipped. Smith said the recent surge in COVID-19 cases has strengthened his belief that the Prime Minister will go the distance. However, he doesn't think the FNM will be returned to office.
I believe the Bahamian people are just waiting for an election because they've already decided that there was a better way to handle this pandemic.
The former Exuma MP further opined that there was a better way to handle the national debt, which he says the country will never be able to pay off. However, he remains hopeful that the next government will do a better job at managing the country's affairs.
Now, I hope and pray that the next government elected would perform in a way to satisfy the Bahamian people that they are worthy to be returned to office 5 years down the road from 2022, which is 2027.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Berthany McDermott.
Still to come, Travis Robinson reflects on his time as Bain Town MP. Stay with us.
The great True True Bahamian Treasure Hunt is here, where you can win great vacation prize packages to hotels throughout the Bahamas. Watch Our TV on weeknights between 6 and 11 p.m. for your 10 True True Bahamian clues. Take note of your answers and clues. You never know, you might see the same clue twice. Follow Our TV Originals on Facebook to submit your correct answers before 11 a.m. every Saturday. Watch Our News Saturdays at 7:30 p.m. to see if you are the weekly winner. If you didn't win, watch for clues next week because the contest runs all summer long. Go to Our TV Originals Facebook page for more information and contest details.
This is Our News. Welcome back. Disaster management experts are seeking to bridge the gap between their agencies and migrant communities in the Bahamas to ensure those groups are well informed and prepared in the event a disaster strikes. National Emergency Management Agency Director Captain Stephen Russell says he believes more lives could have been saved during Hurricane Dorian if trust was well established with the migrant communities.
I think that's part of our challenge, Hurricane Dorian. Lack of trust among the migrant communities and our officials to ask them to evacuate and go to somewhere safe. And many of them refused to do so. That's why we had many persons who have perished during Hurricane Dorian that we cannot account for to a certain extent.
Over the last few months, Russell says a team from the United Nations has helped to train 77 people who will be direct points of contact for migrant communities during disasters. He believes it could mean the difference between life and death for some.
When we're in a disaster mode and we make an appeal for persons to evacuate and go to safety, immigration issues does not come to play. Our task is to save lives. So through that network of 77 persons from the migrant community, when we make an appeal, it's in all sincerity that we're concerned about saving lives.
He was the youngest person to be elected to the halls of Parliament in 2017. Travis Robinson says the last 4 years have not been easy, but he's tried to fulfill the mandate given to him by his constituents. Jillian Gray has that.
Hey, Mr. Robinson, I started my business. Thank you for putting in the application and assisting me. Those type of success stories is what I find pleasure and joy in.
At age 22, Travis Robinson made history as the youngest member of Parliament to be elected in the Bahamas. From then to now, he says he's remained resolute in his goal to empower the people of Bain and Grantstown.
Over the past 4 years, we've been able to pass out some 480 persons throughout the community with upgrading skills and computer studies, entrepreneurship and small business development.
His proudest moment was also a controversial one. In 2018, he stood against his party on a resolution to raise value-added tax, and it's in that moment, he says, he did what he was elected to do, stand up for the people.
Many would imagine and remember back in 2018 when I was terminated for voting for the people of Bain and Grantstown because I believed in the people's voices. I believed that I was a representative for the people. As I often say, I'm not just running here, I live here. And so whatever affects them, affect me.
Creating an artisan marketplace, helping entrepreneurs get funding, annual uniform drives, feeding the elderly, and educating community members are just a few in a long list of community building exercises Robinson says he hopes to continue if re-elected. A part of that legacy has been restoring and preserving the Southern Recreation Grounds.
We don't see you for what people think that you are. You deserve to have the finer things in life too. You don't have to jump on the bus to go all the way Goodman's Bay or some other community to enjoy the finer arts and facilities in life.
From playing basketball on the court steps away from his alma mater C.R. Walker to memories playing in the dugout, Robinson describes himself as a homegrown Bain Town boy. To other millennial candidates, Robinson's one bit of advice is to remain grounded.
I'm encouraging them to stay the course. It's not an easy journey.
Reporting for our news, I'm Jillian Gray.
Up next, a look at weekend weather. Stay with us.
The great True Bahamian Treasure Hunt is here, where you can win great vacation prize packages to hotels throughout the Bahamas. Watch our TV on weeknights between 6 and 11 p.m. for your 10 True Bahamian clues. Take note of your answers and clues. You never know, you might see the same clue twice. Follow our TV originals on Facebook to submit your correct answers before 11 a.m. every Saturday. Watch our news Saturdays at 7:30 p.m. to see if you are the weekly winner. If you didn't win, watch for clues next week because the contest runs all summer long. Go to our TV originals Facebook page for more information and contest details.
Welcome back to our news. Mostly sunny skies ahead this weekend. Greg is back in studio with the details.
Thanks again, Christina. Welcome back, everybody, for your second look at weather. The tropics getting a little active out there right now, and we are watching two areas out in the tropical belt. Tropical wave just to the middle of the Atlantic and moving slowly towards the west. The National Hurricane Center giving that about a 20% chance. But the other system we're watching well out there in the open Atlantic, National Hurricane Center giving that still a high chance. 60% was up to 70% earlier, but it's going to get its act together as it moves across the tropical belt and move into some warmer waters. Boating and beaching forecast for the northwest and central Bahamas tonight through tomorrow. Your winds will be east to southeast at 10 to 15 knots, seas running 2 to 4 feet over the ocean. While in the southeast Bahamas, we expect those winds to come down slightly. Still a caution flag posted. 15 knots out of the east to southeast, seas running 3 to 5 feet over the ocean. Here's a look now at your national forecast. A look now at your extended forecast through Wednesday. That's a look at our weather. Make it a safe weekend, everybody. Back to you, Christina.
Thanks, Greg, and thank you for joining us for our news tonight. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Christina Dragovich. We'll see you right back here tomorrow night. Have a beautiful evening, Bahamas.